New York Times Magazine is featuring an article on Wendy Davis, and the cover of the magazine is causing a little bit of controversy. Let's put it up and discuss it a little bit. So it says, "Can Wendy Davis have it all?" And some are questioning whether or not it's sexist, which I think is the most ridiculous criticism of all time.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, I totally disagree.
Why is that sexist?
You know what? We're going to have to drop it.
Drop it.
All right, now here's why I think it's sexist, Anna. Look, we've discussed many times, you don't want to be overly sensitive and get your feelings all hurt, and then like everything goes nuclear, and it's annoying to people, right? And just the other day, we pardoned Jerry Seinfeld on him saying, "Yeah, I have white comedians in my show. So what?" Right? So you don't want sexism, racism, you get tired of all that stuff. But so I didn't want to say this was sexist.
Why is it sexist?
But think about it.
Okay.
Can Wendy Davis have it all? Why? The subtitle is a Texas-sized, something along the lines of ambition for motherhood and political myth-making and being the governor. Yeah. But wait a minute. When Rick Perry ran for governor, or just name any male who ran for governor, they're not like, he wants to run for governor and he's got kids. Can he have it all? Never. Never. It's never been done.
I totally see what you're saying. However, the burden of raising children is still not 50-50 between men and women, right? I think that that's well known. Men are definitely stepping up to the plate. They're playing a pivotal role in, the child rearing these days, which is awesome. However, a lot of the pressure and the stress still falls on the woman. So as a result, I think that it's totally fair to ask that question. Can you be a mother and still have a successful career? Obviously, she's already had a successful career, so I think that's the only part of it that I'm kind of like, does it really make sense in this context? However, now she wants to go further, and she wants to be a Democratic governor of a very, very Republican state. So I don't have a problem with this. I think that it's a fair question to ask. They wouldn't ask it of a man, but that's because a lot of times men are able to go out there and pursue their careers and be breadwinners without having to worry about doing the majority of the child rearing.
I understand realistically why you're saying they asked the question, but it's so unfair to the women because it makes it sound like, oh, you're going to take away time from your kids to run for governor? Well, I guess you want it all, don't you? Right? Whereas, again, they would never say that to a guy. Oh, Chris, you're going to take away time from your 10 and 13-year-old? I guess you want it all. How greedy of you, Chris Christie, to be a dad and a governor at the same time. I guess, why put that burden on a woman? Why is that fair that we have to look at it from that perspective?
I guess it's all about interpretation. I didn't interpret it as something that, the New York Times was trying to say that she was, selfish and that she was pursuing a career against the best interests of her children. I didn't get that sense at all. Look, this is a question that's really relevant, not only to Wendy Davis, but to all women. This is a question that me and my friends ask ourselves all the time. Can we have it all? Because you're working, you want to build a career for yourself, but at the same time, raising kids, that's the most difficult thing imaginable. And if you don't have the resources for a nanny, if you don't have maternity leave, if you don't have certain resources at your disposal, it's going to be difficult to do it. So I think since so many women have to ask themselves that question, it's fair to ask that of Wendy Davis.
Before we go to the other justices, one last comment from me. Just look at Republicans, right? Mitt Romney had 5 kids. Nobody ever asked him, hey, can you have it all? You ran a successful business.
I know, but he also had a housewife. He had a housewife. Or has a housewife, I should say.
Right, I understand. Sarah Palin had the first dude, but everybody's like, oh, man, you got too many kids, and one of them has issues, and is developmentally challenged, or whatever the right words are. So, now you're going to run for vice president? Can you really have it all? So that's not a fair. So why does she get that extra burden and Mitt Romney doesn't? I find it unfair. All right, Justice Jackson.
I think unintentionally they went to a sexist thing, but I don't think they were thinking, let's tear her down. Because of her story, she talked about she had a kid early and then she struggled through that, and then the story of the husband helping her out, and they've been hitting her with all these different things, and now they're thinking, can she have it all? Because they're thinking now she's supposed to be in this lower level woman who she got to be this far. She's a politician. Calm down. But not so pissed off. I think they kind of went that way without thinking, because we've been conditioned, as you're saying.
No.
It's crazy to think men can't raise or don't raise their kids. But we think that way. It's stupid.
No, I know they do. But in the majority of relationships, I still think that there's a little inequality when it comes to raising kids. I think the majority of the burden is still on the woman, right?
Yes.
But again, we've become much more progressive, thankfully, and guys are stepping in and they're doing a lot of the housework and all of that other stuff. But the reason why I don't have a problem with it, again, is because as a woman, I can relate to that. That's not a question that people are asking of me. That's a question that I ask of myself. Same with my friends. Can we have it all? Because it's incredibly difficult to have a successful career and raise children at the same time.
Yeah, but in this political climate, it puts an undue burden on her. And yeah, I don't think they did it on purpose. I don't think the New York Times like, let's get Wendy Davis, right? But I mean, that doesn't excuse it to me. I mean, if they had put up a picture of Cory Booker and said, is he good at basketball? I don't care if they meant it or didn't mean it. Wait a minute. That's an issue, right? So, Justice Godoy.
You both make really good arguments. I want to lean towards Anna, but I'd rather abstain. Because
all right.
I think Cenk makes a good point. Like, none of that gets brought up with any of the male candidates. So I never saw it that way, but I could see Anna's point a little clearer.
Yeah. All right. Oh, thanks God. I thought he was going to rule with Anna. So now it's 2-1 and an abstention, so we win. Sexist. Sorry.
Well, we do have a woman here. Does the woman want to jump in a little bit?
No, we don't allow women to get voices here. We vote them down. You see how the New York Times is sexist?
The very fact that, we ask this question, yes, it is sexist. We should not, the fact that, the burden is still on women. And it's not like, she's running for governor, right? She could have a nanny just as easily. I don't see how her being a mom would stop her from having anything that she would want to achieve in life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look, it's not to say that Anna's points isn't good. I'm with Jesus. You made really good points. And, it's interesting the different perspective that you come from. But nonetheless, you're now further outvoted. So anyway, good luck.
All right. Okay, fine. TYT Supreme Court thinks it's sexist.